activities, that is the copy editing, typesetting, layout designs, and many more. So today we are going to look at some of the activities, not all, not some, all the activities rather, because we have ample time to exhaust all at the commercial press house. So we would state the major press activities that take place there. So that is what we would be looking at today. So who would set the ball rolling for today's class, please?
Okay, sir.
All right. Sure, Raymond.
It's Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond, sure, I know.
Okay. Pre-press activities. Pre-press activities are activities that are carried out before printing. They include the following activities arranged in chronological order.
Okay, so you realize that we say pre-press, so pre-printing, before printing, all right, pre-press. So, you know, press is to print. So pre-press activities. We said that what are the activities that we do before printing, you know, take place. So the arrangement has not been done in, you know, any order, but in a chronological order, in a systematic order. So we pick it from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3, like that. So we want to look at the first thing that happens during the pre-press activity, or what really happens when work, or you send your work over there, or you engage your designer, or you engage the printer to do the print for you. What are the activities for us to look at? So the first one, yes, shall we proceed?
The first one is copy editing. And we have typesetting,
okay.
layout design, proofreading, page planning and section preparation,
all right,
image setting, and then the last one, plate making. In this session, only copy editing, typesetting, and layout design will be discussed. Copy editing.
All right, so we want to look at what copy editing is. What is it? If you say copy editing.
This involves reading through manuscripts or copies submitted to a press house by an author or client. The initial reading is done to identify and correct all grammatical errors in the script, such as spelling mistakes, punctuation errors, mistakes in sentence structure, paragraphing, ambiguities, etc.
So in this copy editing, we are saying that manuscripts are submitted. So if you say the manuscript, we are talking about the draft, is submitted to the press house by the author, all right, by your client. You know, as designers, we are going to deal with clients, and there should be a lot of professionalism dealing with your client. So once the manuscript, all right, is submitted to you, the copy editor. So in this case, we have copy editor. The copy editor checks a piece of writing to make sure that one, the grammar, spelling, and the punctuations are very correct. the sentences are clear and easy to understand. Then the tone and the style match the purpose of or the audience. It match the people that you want to communicate to. So for instance, if you are doing a poster for the general public, you should know you are dealing with the general public. Of course, the general public, we have children, we have adults, we have literate, we have illiterate. So which should be the tone so that it will satisfy the general public. So you, the copy editor, must look at the facts, the names, and the numbers are accurate. Then formatting is consistent, whether the formatting is very consistent. So the copy editing is not the same as rewriting. So you are not going to rewrite or change the writer's idea. Oh, Nyodia Bano, you're wrong. Nyodia Bano, you're wrong. So I'm going to change it for you. No. So you are supposed to polish it. You are polishing the writing so that it becomes more professional, more error-free, and ready for reading. All right, so that is it. Copy editing. So let's go to typesetting, please.
Okay, typesetting. This is carried out after copy editing. It involves typing the text with computer and selecting appropriate style and font of typeface for the work. During typesetting, the copy is further edited to identify and correct any mistake that will not be identified during copy editing.
All right.
This editing is done in comparison with the master script, that is manuscript. The computer-generated text is then given to the author to proofread through and approve it before it is processed further at the press house.
Great. So you realize that after the copy editing, the next stage, it's the typesetting. If you say type means what? You know, so the word type is from typeface. All right. So typeface is about text. All right, and images. Okay. So how to arrange, set. If you say you should set something, how to arrange it. So typesetting is actually the process of arranging text and images on a page to prepare it for printing or digital display. All right. So we said that it involves choosing the right font, the right font sizes, the right what's the name? Spacing, alignment, and layout to make the content clear, readable, and visually appealing. You know, so normally we do it with computer. So it involves typing the text with computer. So even if the person had, you know, brought the manuscript to you in hard copy, it will be prudent for you to possibly retype it right with your computer. Okay. You can use Word to do that. You can use CorelDRAW depending on the software that you are doing. So you select the appropriate style now, the font that you think it will work. All right. So that is it. So during the typesetting, the copy is further edited to identify and correct mistakes. So at every stage, we may have to correct mistakes over there. So that is why something is not prudent for one to be doing all this. It has to go through, you know, hands, all right, hands, so that you would be able to do good job. All right. So the computer-generated text is then given to the author to proofread through and approve it before it is processed further for the press house. All right. Now, any question? Someone's hand is up, please. What is your question, please?
Thank you, sir. Please, I want to know, during the typesetting stage, is there any interaction between the press and then the author or the one that brought the manuscript? Because I'm asking this.
Yeah.
What I know that choosing of the font style and then the font type depends much on the targeted audience. So in this scenario, the doing the typesetting, the one doing the typesetting will have to do the actual targeted audience before he will be able to choose the appropriate type style or font style, and then the type font type, the point size for the work.
All right, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. So yeah, so you are the professional designer over here. You are the professional communication designer. So you are doing communication design, ability to communicate to the general public through visual means. That is communication design. So that's the course you are doing, ability to communicate. You are an ICT student, so you use it as a tool. So it is a tool, but the ability to communicate to the general public depends on your professionalism so far as communication design is concerned, or graphic design, or this particular concept is concerned. So once the client comes to you, that, oh, the client is not a professional. That is why he's bringing the work to you. So once the client comes to you and tells you, oh, do this work for me, sit down with the client. So personally, I prefer one-on-one interaction. If a client comes to me, all right, then we engage you. We engage you. What do you, what is the rationale behind your work? What do you want to do? What would be your target group? You look at all these things. After looking at it, then the client now puts his or her trust in you that you are capable of doing a good job. But there is always that rapport. There should be no communication barrier between you and your client, so that whatever you maybe identify later, you can reach out. Oh, don't you think this should be this or that? You are not done with the printing yet. We realize that so many things will now go on. Now, if you look at the typesetting, for instance, you know, the font selection, the client may not know anything concerning font selection, because that is about choosing the appropriate typeface. Is it going to be a serif or sans serif font? All right, for the content or audience, is it going to be Gothic? If I'm doing your number plate for you, number plate on a vehicle, then it ought to be Gothic. It can't be serif. It ought to be sans serif. So, but if I tell the client that, oh, choose between Gothic and, or choose between serif and sans serif, this thing, the client may choose it based on its beauty. But as to the appropriateness, it depends on you. So that communication, but because you are the professional, you need to always give professional idea and the rationale for choosing whatever you are choosing for the client. So when you look at the font size, for instance, there are, you know, where do you need to bold? Where do you need to, you know, emphasize? Where do you need to, italize? Where do you need to adjust? Where do you need to lay the hierarchy? We have hierarchy in what's the name? In selecting font. For instance, you want to say Ghana clean, or you want to say that don't litter, keep Ghana clean. Don't litter, keep Ghana clean. Which one should come first? Which one should you bolden? Right? Which one should you highlight? So you are, and even line spacing, which one If you are talking about the spacing, we have two types of spacing. We have the line. So the line spacing is another name for the line spacing is the leading. Her input. Okay, so that is what you need to do over here. There shouldn't be any area.
Please say your line is breaking. If sorry, am I the one not hearing
I can't also hear
the
you.
tutor?
I can't hear from myself.
Um, all right.
I
I
think
wanted to even make a contribution in what the teacher was saying. If I may do that before he comes.
Okay.
Yeah,
do it.
with what he was saying. Normally, I do some printing for a bank here. They get loans, right? Now, what we have to do is look at the ones that they really need most. Their name, the guarantors, and then amount they are supposed to take as a loan, and then the date that they are supposed to do. So with that, I do highlight it. But when they do take it to any other place, printing press to do it, they'll tell you go to this person. He's a person that we are working with. It wasn't that they were working with me, but how I made my font and how I made my printing to them. That even if I even travel for even 2 weeks, they'll wait for me to come before all these things would go on. So we look at what the specific things or the important things needed over there. The amount that you need over there, you can highlight that one. So I make a copy over there, and the rest, when they come, I ask of their name, how much you need, what are you using for your as a guarantor, as a collateral, you put it in there. So these are the highlighting things that we do. And mostly too, when you print, you the person sitting typing, you wouldn't see any mistake or a fault in. But as soon as you give it to somebody, the person will punch it out so fast. That's the need that you make a copy to the person to see, or even if it's on WhatsApp, the person is not around, you can send it to the person for person to go through before you do your final printing. Thank you.
So please, does it mean we have a laid down rules governing the use of fonts in typing?
All right. When you come to, let's say, especially when you are doing a portfolio for a school or so, as in making your project work, the font is 2, and then the spacing is what also 2.0, right? And then you can use, and we normally use Times New Roman. That is what I normally use, or we use when I was doing my project. I get me. And then most of the times when it's nothing that maybe you are using, you want to read in a school or something else, you can really close them so that it will compact. It will really come closer so that you get much, all the words can come on one page, not to use. But if it is officially given out, that is what you have to spacing out. 2, I think it's 2, yes, and then Times New Roman, right? Just to let your work stand out as a printing press person, to let your work stand out. But I know some people too are illiterates. When they come, You don't have to make the font too small for them. 12 is even small for them. And then you can raise it up to 14 so that they see it and they see the font very clear over there. At my place where I am right now, they come to make land disputes. I get me cocoa, sharing and this and that. So I write it there and then give it out to them. I read it out and explain it to them. I make it very bold that they will all what see, even if they cannot read, they'll understand that they have seen it. And then I will highlight the main points, the people who are sharing the cocoa and the years that they would start from and the year to end. So these boarding parts would let them know that, oh, this is the part that I started and this is where I'm ending. And the rest, even if he doesn't even understand, you will know that, oh, this is the important places that I need. The person I shared the cocoa with and the time I began with, you boarding it. That is for the illiterate. And then sometimes someone can bring a letter and then the writings, the English or the grammar, there will be a grammatical errors. You, the printer, you are a professional. You have to make all these things, all these corrections for the person and then show the person this is how it is and that. Thank you very much.
And I think when Sir was all speaking, he spoke about serif and sans serif. I know most of you were not getting what they really are. So when you talk about serifs, serifs are fonts that have projections at the ends. And sans serif, sans means without. So serif means fonts that have no projections.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for holding this thing. I was off. I don't know what happened. My this thing went off, but I was enjoying your contributions, your explanations. That's a good job. Thank you so much. So you were saying, and it seems who Ransford was able to give you more practical understanding of all the activities that we have spoken so far. All right. That's the copy editing, the typesetting. So we will now be going to the layout designing. And apart from Ransford, Christian also was explaining the concept of I use a certain term and assess serifs and sans serif. So sans serifs, these are styles of letters. Let me say letters so that you understand. Letters over here that we are seeing right now. So look at the summary, for instance, summary. You can see summary, a big summary over here. Okay, summary. All right. All right. This is Roman. Okay, New Times Roman typeface. Okay, so this is a projection. You see some projected, all right, parts that seem like it can even pierce you. Okay, visual this thing can even pierce. It's having some projected ends. So these projected ends are known as serifs. All right, it is not every typeface that is having serif. Some are not. So example is, look at the sign in over here that we are seeing at the top over here. The sign in. Look at the S. So you see that the S is not having any projection. And so those ones are sans serif. Serif means projection. Sans serif means no projection. Sans means no. So no projection. So that is it. That is all that I was trying to talk about. All right, Ebenezer, please, before we proceed.
Yes, sir. I want to ask my brother Ransford the question. One of us asked if there is a lay down rules for the selection of the font style and font size for a particular job, or it depends on the organization. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so Ransford, do you want to answer it, or I should come in quickly?
All right, sir, come in.
All right, thank you so much. Now, it's a very good practical question that you have asked, Ransford. It's for the benefit of all of us. All right, so the person comes to you. I want to do a textbook for KG1 and KG2. The person has stated the target group. Now, you cannot use too much of embellished font or typefaces that are too decorative, very cursive, cursives. All right, you write in cursives, linking one letter, linking the other. What do you think will happen over here? I'm throwing it back to you. What do you think will happen? A KG2 book or class 1 book. What do you think will happen? We have selected a typeface and it is linking each other. That's cursive. What do you think will happen?
Since they are kids, it will be very difficult for them to read.
Thank you very much. So it is not about the organizational rules. It is about the people that you are communicating to. For the organization, you have the requisite, experts that are supposed to be working. So once you have that interaction with your client, you know the type to use. You know the image to use. Now to the child, do you know how the illustrations in children's book are different from the illustrations in adult books? The adult books, you bring the real image, the realistic image. But children's book, when you bring realistic image, they will not understand because that is not how they draw. That is not how they see things. So that is it. So you need to look at the dynamics. You need to look. So in short, you look at the target group. Your audience is key. Because it's a visual communication is the art of combining letters, words, pictures, with the prime aim of communicating to the general public. To the general public, we have targets. We have groups that we are dealing with. Now, if you are dealing with a group of people who cannot read and write, then most of your concept would be pictorial. Most of your concept will be pictures. Are you okay with that? So it depends on you, the professional understanding of visual communication and the people that you are communicating to. So that is it. All right. Please, let's proceed.
Layout designing. When the typeset is approved by the author, the test is handed over to the graphic design to design the pages of the work. The designer gathers appropriate images, that's illustrations, for the work and edits them. After that, he employs different layout principles and processes to plan every page. After page layout planning, he copies that typed text and pastes on the appropriate page and selects appropriate typeface and font for the text depending on the function of the text on the page. The layout designer uses varying sizes of fonts to achieve good hierarchy of the type. He also imports appropriate edited images and inserts them in the work. When the layout design is completed, the work is printed for proofreading.
Okay. So the test stage of the pre-test activity that go on in the printing industry is the layout design. Layout designing. What is layout first? Layout. Layout simply means a plan. Layout simply means plan. So layout designing means what? How to plan your design. Simplicity. how to plan your design. So in layout designing, you realize it's a process of arranging the visual elements. What are the visual elements over here? We are looking at the text. We are looking at the images. We are looking at the shapes. We are looking at the white space. All right, the white space on the page or on the screen in a way that it is aesthetically pleasing, functional, and can communicate the intended purpose, the intended message effectively to the audience. You have brought a message to me. It has been proofread. Yes, we are done the typesetting. We have done the what's the name? The first one, copy editing. We have done the typesetting. So after the typesetting, there's a need for you to collect whatever that has been approved. After the typesetting, it is the this now sees it. Oh, all right. The author now sees it. Now, okay, I have now approved whatever information that needs to go into the work. So it's now given to the graphic designer now. So the graphic designer would not just start designing. He will give us a lot of how the design can be arranged, how the design can be planned. So this is where you gather even illustrations, gather the text, gather the shapes, gather whichever designs, and see whether you'll be able to arrange it so that it will be so pleasing to the eye, to the general public, functional, and be able to communicate that intended purpose or the intended purpose of the design. So you realize that pieces of layout can be done. It can even be done on a piece of paper. That this is how I want to do it. So that we box it. That this word must be here. The illustration must come this way. And the emphasis must be here. The address must go this side. So we box it. We box the design. We may not necessarily have to put in everything, but we box it that, okay, this is how it should be. It will be here. So I wish I could open my Cora draw over here. But if I want to open it, we are not going to end today because it's not going to be easy. All right. So the layout design, that is how it is done. So layout. Let me see whether I can give you quickly some layout designs. Let me see layout. I can give you examples of layout designs so that you would see it over here. So layout design. Layout design. Let me quickly do that. So okay, let me show you something, so then I'll give you. All right. So this is, let's say, a book. This is a book that we have over here. So this is the layout of the book. This is the layout of this book. So a designer realized that maybe the illustration must be on top before the topic, and the inscription will follow and the design over here. So in layout, you can put a circle over a square over here to represent the design that you are going to put there. You can put a very small what's the name, rectangular box over here to represent that there is going to be your topic. Then you can do Greeking. We call something Greeking. Greeking, you are scribbling. You are not writing anything actually. You are scribbling to tell that these are the words that you are going to fill. So you do Greeking across. So there'll be Greeking, Greeking without any specific word, meaningful word, or text or whatever. You are just Greeking. You are just scribbling to indicate that this is where the passage will be. Then you will do another square of this rectangular over here to represent the design that you would put over here. So that is what we call layout. That is what we call layout. Okay. Yes, someone's hand is up. Mavis, yeah.
Yes, sir. Please, I would like to liken this to what we studied in drawing and rendering. In drawing and rendering, what you are explaining is called blocking in. Yeah, so if you want to draw a bottle, probably a bottle, let's say the lid is a circle. So I'll put a circle at where the lid is. And if the bottle looks like a rectangle, I'll draw a rectangle to replace before I'll do the outline drawing and come to the detailing. So per what
That's
you are
great.
saying, and I would liken it
Yeah.
to in drawing
That's
and
great.
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the transfer of knowledge. That is so that's so good. So that is the layout. So we are saying that in layout we still look at margins and grids, where we will provide the structure and balance of the text. All right. Then there will be typography. We still consider the font choices, the size, the spacing, and then the image, okay, or the graphics, all right, to enhance the message. All right, to enhance the message. Then we'll look at the alignment. All right, considering all the principles and elements of design. You balance it, ensure visual harmony, ensure balance. Is it going to be symmetrical balance or asymmetrical balance? Your distance, your layout, your design. Is it going? If you make it symmetrical balance, would it be so pleasing to the eye, or what? Then we also look at contrast. Which one must be let's say, which one must you highlight and which one must you lower? Which one must you expand and which one must you reduce? Okay, which one must you lay emphasis on? That is the contrast and the emphasis. So that is all about layout designing. All right. So quickly, thank you so much for the reading. So we will continue with, after layout designing, we go to proofreading. Okay. Different person should read.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm reading.
Okay, Osman, go.
Who is reading for us?
Okay. Osman is reading.
Osman, yeah, let's go.
Okay. Proofing and proofreading copies for multiple reproduction.
Okay.
In commercial printing, before a copy will be reproduced in multiple copies of a book, magazines, newspaper, etc., the element of the copy should be carefully checked to ascertain that it does not contain errors. Identification and correction of mistake in a copy starts from typesetting through page layout design until a master copy is obtained. During typesetting, the typesetter must be meticulous and be able to identify mistakes in the manuscript and correct them. He or she must also use correct punctuation marks and try as much as possible to avoid typographical errors. When the manuscript is typeset, a proof is printed out and given to the client to read through. The client edited copy is used as the master. Please,
Yeah.
please, someone should take over.
Okay.
All right, I take over.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Ransford's reading.
I just had a call, so I have to attend.
Okay. Yeah, Ransford.
I'm reading.
Ransford. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
When the manuscript is typeset, a proof is printed out and given to the client to read through. The client's edited copy is used as master set for further processing. Layout designers use the master set to plan and design pages of the material by inserting illustrations. After page layout design, a rough copy is printed for proofreading. What then is proofreading? In communication design.
So let's look at before we come to what then is proofreading. So you realize that in commercial printing, we can, of course, we do multiple production, and we need to look at proofing. So proofing is a process of reviewing a printed or digital sample. So it can be printed, the thing can be printed, or maybe if you think that it cannot be printed and there's a need for us to show it to you on the screen, the final distance. So in another way, we may call it the prototype. We show it to you, we can show it to you. Maybe something that requires that we have to use very expensive this thing to print, or we may not be able to print one for you, then we can give you a digital sample. Or so we'll print the first one, a process of reviewing a printed sample, proofing. So that printed sample is called proof. That printed sample that is given to the client is called the proof. Before the final production will take place. So after the typesetting and the layout are all done and everything is whatever, you don't begin to print in multiplicity. No, you still have to give it out. It requires, I tell people in designing that in art, it's about critical observation and alertness. Design is about critical observation and alertness. In design, we don't accept I'm sorry. Take it. We don't accept anything like I'm sorry. I'm sorry means the thing has gone bad. I say it is sport. And maybe after printing 1,000 copies before you are telling them, I'm sorry. No, I say we have to go and throw it away. Nobody would take it. Your client will not accept it. And what happens? You have lost. So you have to do things diligently. You don't have to do things, haphazardly. All right? We don't have to do it haphazardly at all. We have to be sure of what we are doing. We have to be conscious of every step that we take. You need to be conscious of yourself. You don't have to lose concentration. Sometimes people will be designing and be eating at the same time. People will be designing and be talking. People will be designing and be playing music. No, it distracts the mind. So it's about conscious effort. So if you are very conscious, the next stage is for you to give the proof. The proof, that is the printout, to your client to read through. So after the client has read through, the client's edited copy will now be used as the master set for further processing. So now, after the client has gone through it now, the client may not necessarily even see mistake. So, oh, okay, it's now okay. All right. So now, layout designers use the master set to plan, design the pages of the material by inserting the illustration after page layout, and a rough copy is printed for proofreading. So that is the distance. So let's look at what then is proofreading. Proofreading. Or I should quickly explain that, right? Should I?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So so that we'll move very fast. So looking at the proofreading, so we have said that what then is proofreading? So proofreading, we are saying that it's a process of reading, all right, carefully, all right, process of carefully reading a text to find out correct errors in the grammar, in the spelling, the punctuation, and formatting. It also focuses on the language accuracy, not the design. Okay, so proofreading is actually the final step before publishing or printing will take place now. You have done your part. Ransford says something that the designer may not, we are sure, because it is your eye, it is your mind, you may think everything is right, everything is on point until someone says it. That is why in art, we do appreciation and criticism. You must always subject your work to scrutiny, subject your work to appreciation, subject your work to bring people to torture your work. Sometimes it's not easy. They are torturing your work and you are feeling hurt. Hey, now the work and almost say we don't condemn work. We don't condemn. We don't say this is bad. No. We don't say that this work, no, I don't see the significance. No, we don't say that. That is judgment. So in work, we don't pass judgment. We don't condemn, but we scrutinize. We subject the work to scrutiny, where the work is now critiqued. Identify mistakes. So you are the one to identify every part of mistake in it. And sometimes you realize that you think that you have done your best, but once someone says it, you can, hey, identify this mistake, that mistake, this mistake, that mistake. You should never be angry because it is part of it. So the proofreading, that's the final stage. All right. So to correct the mistakes. All right, so we'll look at the hierarchy, we'll look at the font size, we'll look at the use of emphasis, good layout, letters, words, line spacing, color scheme, good placement, all those things. All right, so that is basically to check the grammatical mistake punctuation before it is. And normally it is done by two people. All right, the copy holder and the proofreader. The copy holder and the proofreader. So the copy holder reads from the master set. The master set, while the proofreader follows the text carefully on each page to identify the mistake. All right. So let's go. So now let's look at some of the economic symbols, all right, the symbols, proofreader symbols, some of the symbols that they use. All right, some of the symbols that they use in proofreading. So let's look at that. Yes, read, please.
Proofreaders' marks or symbols are the shorthand used by the person reading proofs to make changes. During proofreading, the marks are made in pairs. One set of marks is put in the margin to tell the keyboard operator what changes to make. The other set of mark is written directly in the text to show the typeset exactly where to make corrections. And the figure below.
All right. So,
yeah.
All right. So the figure below are samples of proofreading, symbols, all right, used in commercial, but it's not so clear. So I've given you one on your page right now. All right. So, they use symbols. So proofreaders marks. All right. So we have operational signs and typographical signs. Operational signs and typographical signs. The operational signs are what you need to do. So if I say delete, I mustn't write the whole word delete. We use symbols. All right. So we have symbols that represent delete. We have symbols that represent close up. You should close up or delete the space. Okay. We have a symbol that says you should insert a space. We have symbol that says that you should begin with new paragraph. We have symbols that say that you should move right. You should move towards the center. You should move towards the left. You should move upwards, downward. Okay. You should do alignment. You should do alignment. So that is that. Then we have the typographical. We have the typographical signs. That is maybe ital means set it in italic type. All right. Rome or OM, which means set in Roman instead of maybe italic. Okay. BF means bolding. All right. Bolding the text. LC means maybe lower case. Use the so that these are the symbols. So I've placed it on your page for you. All right. So this is how the example of proofreading typesetting. Yes, typesetting is done. Examples. So that is what. So we have to read through and identify mistakes and correct it. So that one, that is, you can do it on your own. So page planning and selection preparation. Page planning and selection preparation. Am I off again?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So I thought I'm done explaining. So we go to page planning and selection preparation.
Session preparation.
Yeah. Section preparation. So there's a terminology that we call section. So we want to how to do page planning and section preparation. So let's go.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Page planning and section preparation. When the initial proofread is completed and the final copy is obtained, the layout designer further plans the serial arrangements of the pages in the work. This is done by using a dummy. A dummy is a small sheet of paper which is folded once or more times to create pages which are numbered and serially to plan the pages of a book. Note that a dummy could contain 4, 8, 16, or 32 pages, depending on the number of times in which the sheet is folded. For example, single fold folio will produce 4 pages. Double fold quarto will produce 8 pages. A third fold octavo will produce 16 pages in that order.
All right. So
Okay.
read so that
After dummy preparation, the layout designer uses the dummy as a guide to prepare sections. A section is a large sheet on which multiple pages of a book have been arranged. For instance, to prepare a section for an A4 size book, the layout designer selects a large size of sheet on the computer. Example, A2. Use rulers to divide the sheet into 4 equal parts by setting appropriate margins. Then use the dummy as a single guide to copy the pages from the master copy and paste them at their correct positions on the sheet. The number of pages arranged on each side, as front and back, of the section depend on the number of pages in the dummy. The process of copying, arranging, and pasting a number of pages on a large sheet is termed as imposition.
Okay. All right.
Image
That's great. Now, before we come to image setting, there's a need for us to explain page planning and section preparation. So we have heard something like page planning, page planning. We have heard something like section preparation. All right. Then we have something like folio. All right. We have heard something like folio. We have heard something like dummy. Okay. So dummy simply means, you know, a rough replica. All right. A rough replica or a prototype that is done in that rough way. Okay. So if you are looking at page planning, it's a process. All right. It's a way of organizing and mapping out the layout. Okay, you have done your layout already, so you map out the layout, okay, of content across multiple pages before the actual setting or planning, you know, printing is done. All right. Then if you're looking at the section, if you say section, it involves dividing, you know, large publications like magazines, like books, like newspaper into manageable parts or sections for easier layout and printout. So you begin to get a piece of paper, you will fold it into multiple this, and that's why we said we have single fold. We have single fold. Okay, it's a single fold. We call it folio. Will produce 4 pages. When you pick one paper, for instance, and you divide it into 2, you are not cutting it. All right, you are not cutting, but you are just folding it. You are just folding into 2 equal parts. When you fold into 2 equal parts, it will definitely open like a book. So how many, you know, pages do we have now? How many pages? We have 1, 2. So the 1 is the outer, the 2 is the first inner of the outer, the 3 is the other part of the inner, then the 4 is the back of the paper. So we see that single fold has 4 pages. Double fold will give us 8 pages. All right. So like that. A third fold, that is octavo, will produce 16 pages in that order. So that is how it is done over here. So that is it. Now let's go to image setting. Image setting.
Image setting. This involves photographing.
Someone needs to put, excuse me, we need to, someone, I don't know who is that. Is it Vicentia? Yeah, Vicentia, kindly put your microphone off. Vicentia, your microphone should be off since you are not the one reading. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so let's go.
Image setting.
Yeah.
It's gone
Okay,
from my end.
Sorry. Let me just. Yeah, it will go. Let me just. Okay, let's go.
Right.
Let's go, please. Yeah.
Okay. Image setting. This involves photographing the design of individual sections onto a light transparent plastic sheet called laser film. In image setting, full color designs, that's bitmap or continuous tone images, are broken into half tones of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black by using appropriate commands on the computer. The process of breaking down a continuous tone image into halftones is termed as color separation. Each separated color, that's halftone, is commanded into transfer, that's photograph, onto a laser film through an image setting or image processing machine.
All right. So in simple put, let me make it so simple for you. I've heard of all this before, but when I'm talking about image setting itself, it's a process of preparing and placing images. So the images can be photograph, it can be illustration, it can be graphics, onto a layout or design for printing or digital publishing. All right. So that is how to set. That's why we have typesetting. Typesetting. We also set images. So typesetting, we are setting the text. And image setting, we are setting the image. So that is it. Now, after image setting, we go to plate making. How to make the plate. So that is where we are going to the lithography aspect. Okay. In lithography, we looked at how to develop our plate. All right, we develop our plate, and now during the printing, the plate, all right, is now transferred onto what, a rubber-like substance. That is where we pick the distance from the ink from, and for proper printing will take place. So that is where we develop our photographs. Okay, photographs, images, and whatever. So we are making plates. So that's why you subject the plate to a light box. All right, using this photo emotion or sensitizer and so on to get the appropriate distance. So that is how plate making is made. So plate simply means making image. All right, making image on a film. Okay, so that is it. So let's look at so now that we are done with the pre, there's the need for us to look at the post. So post press. So the post press, we are going to look at printing, folding, collation, insertion, and gathering. And so let's go to the printing activities. Someone should equally read. Yeah.
Printing activities.
So printing.
Okay.
Should I
Okay,
read?
if you have, okay, you proceed then. Yeah.
Okay. Printing activities. This is the actual reproduction of the design onto printing sheets. Printing is done by a machine operator, also called a printer. Before the press machine is commanded to operate, the printer fixes the prepared plate. The printer fixes the prepared plate is onto the plate cylinder in the press plant and locks it very very well. The printing sheets are jogged and packed onto the delivery board at the feeding unit of the press. The printing ink is applied into the ink duct, and fountain solution is also regulated to fill the duct. The printer then adjusts the ink and fountain solution uniformly, and the machine is commanded to make trial prints until proper prints are obtained. The machine is then commanded to print the work.
All right. So we want to, after the pre-activities are done accurately, there is a need for us to start with the printing, where the production of the design is now done. All right. So we know what goes on in printing. So printing is done by the machine operator, who is also called the printer, just like the device. Okay, so that is it. So you operate it and do what is expected of him to do by fixing the prepared plate onto the plate cylinder. All right, lock it up for apply ink, appropriate ink. All right, for the printing to be done. Okay, so let's look at post-press activity.
Post-press activities. These are activities that are carried out in a commercial press house after final printing of book or work. The post-press activities include the following: folding, collation, insertion, gathering, binding, trimming, lamination, and others.
All right.
For instance,
so these ones, you may have heard some of them before. Once you have, gone to the ordinary photocopier machine and whatever press in your own vicinity, you may have heard folding. All right. You may have heard collation. We may have heard insertion, gathering, binding, trimming, lamination, and others. All right. So someone hand is up. Kindly ask, then we proceed.
Yes, sir. Please, my question is that looking at the collation and the gathering, how are they different?
Okay. So when we are about to, I don't want to jump the gun. So we are about to look at all this, then we would explain. But it has not been explained. So once it has not been explained over here, I will take the opportunity to explain it one by one for you to get. So please, before I begin the explanation, kindly read the rest and for us to comprehend, so that I look at it. Okay, so continue, please.
The post-press activities include the folding, collation, folding, collation, insertion, gathering, binding, trimming, lamination, and others. For instance, in book printing, when the individual sections are printed out, the sections are folded into the actual paper size of the book with a tool called a bond folder. For multiple section books, the sections are gathered. That's are gathered, as gathering is the process of placing one section on the other serially. Placing one section. Okay. So should I continue?
No, continue, please.
Most folios are inserted. So when we look at the insertion to insertion is putting a single folded sheet into each other in correct sequence. putting a single folded sheet into each order in correct sequence. So unfolded printed unfolded printed single sheets are also called collated. So when we talk about the collation too, it says collation is the process of arranging printed single sheets in correct sequence. So after folding, collation, insertion of gathering, the individual printed sheets or sections are bound together by gluing, stitching, stapling, and etc. Okay, some book covers are laminated before binding. Please note that book binding will be discussed extensively in subsequent models. Okay.
All right. Now, these are some of the activities that happen after the printing has taken place. We said we are looking at what folding is. And so folding is simply a process of bending. So we are now bending because every book is having openings. Okay, so we have to bend. We have to pick that and bend it. All right, that's we are folding it into specific configuration to form pages. So over here we'll have page 1, page 2, page 3, and so on. Okay, so we have signatures of a book or booklet. Okay, so another name for section is a signature. So take note of that. Another name for section is a signature. And so one piece is called signature. Okay, so that is it. All right. So when you bend the book, you form the pages, you form the section, or what is known as the signature. So after folding, you now have to collate it. So collation is about assembling the individual printed sheets or papers in a correct logical manner to form a complete set. Okay, you are collating. So for instance, you are collating your books or magazines and whatever. We put it there. We print it and put all there. Okay, put all there. Maybe all the page 1 to 2 are here, page 2 to 3 are here, page 4 to 5 are here, page 5 to 6 are here. So what must you do? Now you have to assemble it. You pick page 1 to 2, all right? You pick page 2 to 3, you pick page 4 to 5, and so on. All right, so collation is done after folding. And that is to ensure that each copy of the book or document has all the pages in the right order. So we are arranging it in that order. Now, we want to look at what gathering is. Someone said, what's the difference between gathering? What's the difference between gathering and collating? What's the difference between gathering and collating? So now both are processes of assembling. Take note of that. Both are processing of assembling the printed sheets, but they differ in methods and purpose. They differ slightly. Now, if you look at collating, so in collating, as I said, we arrange individual sheets or pages in a specific order. Then assembly means assembling folded sections into a book block. So the folded sections, you know, collating is individual sheets or pages in a specific order, in a chronological way, while the assembly is, you know, assembling the folded, the gathering is assembling the folded sections. Okay, folded sections. Another name for the section is called signatures into a book block. All right. Now, there's one thing that you need to also know. that in collating loose sheets, okay, it is used for handout, report, examination. We can collate loose sheets. Then in gathering, we gather folded sections, all right, so that we can bind it. So you look at certain dictionaries, they are having certain they are binded in case binding. Some of the dictionaries are in case binding. Some of them are in perfect binding. So you realize that you see some sections, and you can take one section out, which is made up of several pages. The sections are together, which can be taken out. Then one thing that we need to understand is that collating is like picking, all right, one page, all right, from each stack to make a complete document, whilst the gathering is like stacking full booklet or sections, one on top of another to form a book. So that is it. All right. So we know of binding already, how we bind. All right. I've just made mention of case. We talk about perfect. We talk about so many types of binding. All right. Then we trim what? Excess parts using the guillotine. All right. Then the lamination. If you want to laminate to make it glossy, you can laminate to make it glossy and to also protect the cover. All right. And other things. Okay, so that is that. So yeah, your question, please.
Please, is collation done after printing?
Yes, collation and gatherings are all done after printing.
You can't do that before printing.
So what are you going to collate if we do that before printing?
When you are about to print, there's a section that will allow you to do this.
So that is the dummy preparation. We have moved from the dummy preparation.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? Yeah, we are done with the dummy preparation. And we say that dummy is just a rough archetype of what you are going to print out. That's like a prototype. A miniature form of what you will be doing, but that one is in the rough stage. But now we are done with the printing. Don't forget, the printing is done before all these ones are done, before the folding, before the collating, before the gathering, the inserting, the trimming, the lamination, the binding, and so on. And so that is it. All right. So quickly, we'll look at troubleshooting. Okay, what is troubleshooting? So you want to look at concept of troubleshooting in commercial press. Concept of troubleshooting in commercial press. So you want to look at it. Let's see how best we'll be able to. Okay. So this one's mechanical problem. Okay. They're a bit many, but we can exhaust it quickly. All right. Okay, let's look at it. Troubleshooting. Concept of troubleshooting in commercial press printing. Who is doing the reading for us, please? Hey, am I safe?
Okay, so I'll take that, please. This Titus.
Okay, Titus.
Okay, concept of troubleshooting in commercial press printing. It's going to, okay. In industrial printing, troubleshooting is the art or process of identifying and correcting problems or faults in printing. There are common problems that affect the quality of printouts in commercial lithography. Generally, there are four broad factors that cause problems in commercial lithographic printing. The first
Okay, so
is
now
damp.
now that the printing is done, all that we want to understand is that now that the printing is done, all right, now even before, it is advisable that before you even do it in mass production, you need to do troubleshooting, examine the printout to identify fault, to identify the surface quality, whether it is enhanced or poor. Okay, the look of your print. All right, you identify the problem, and after identify the problem, how you will solve it before you even begin the mass production. You see that some of the prints are very faint, some of them are sketchy, some of them will bleed, just like the way we spoke about when we were talking about printing defects. All right, so same way, when you are doing using the commercial lithographic method of printing to identify it in four major four major factors that can cause the problem. So damping solution, and ink consideration, paper consideration, and mechanical problem. So if you are talking about damping, solution, that's the pH level. All right, what is it? If the pH level is high or low, what will happen? Okay, then if you are talking about the ink, if the ink is light, what will happen? If the ink is having a problem, what will happen? If we are looking at the paper, okay, the grains of the paper, if it is smooth, what will happen? If the grains are moving to certain direction, and you print along or across, what will happen? Technical issues. If you don't maintain your distance well, and all of a sudden, the head of your printer is having a problem, it will end up getting, or you receiving, poor outcome. So what will also happen? That is what we want to look at. So the first one is the damping solution pH level. All right.
Okay, damping solution pH level. Damping solution consists of water, gum arabic, and acid combined in different proportions. It is the acid concentration in the solution that can cause a problem in printing. The measure of acidity in the solution is determined by pH scale, which ranges from 0 to 4, where 0 is very acidic and very alkalinic, and range 7, which is the mid-range, is natural. The acceptability of pH scale for fountain solution ranges from 5.5 to 4.5. Most manufacturers specify a recommended pH level to be used for their plates. The printer can measure the pH level of a solution by using a litmus paper pH indicator.
And so you say you should use a litmus paper pH indicator to test the acidity of the solution. All right, the acidity of the solution. And we are saying that the neutral one is there. The neutral one is there. All right, that is 7. And those that are very acidic or very alkaline is between 0 to 4. So for you to know the printer, for you to know which one is most appropriate for you to use, you need to test it with your litmus paper. So let's look at high acidic pH, fountain solution can cause what? What can it cause if it is high? If it is high, what problem can it cause? If the solution is very high, acidic solution is very high, what would be the problem that it could cause you.
Okay, so high acid pH scale fountain solution can cause variety of problems in printing. A strong acid solution can shorten the life of a plate. The acid tends to deteriorate the image area of all surface plates and can eventually make the image walk off the plates.
Okay, so you can see that the image can corrode easily if the acid is very high. You know that you are dealing with acid, and acid can even corrode our skin. So if it's very high, you are going to destroy the lifespan of the plate. It will not be. Maybe someone wants to print again, especially those who print textbooks and co. Wants to print more. So because they want to print more, maybe every semester they want to print a book. Every semester they want to print a book, but 500 per semester. The following semester, you don't need to go and develop a new plate again. You have to use the old plate so that it will even reduce your cost for you, because you are not going to develop a plate because plate development you have to pay for it. So because you are not going to develop plate again, the plate is already there for you. So yours is the printing. You will pay for the printing now. Okay. So if your acid is very high, you are going to deteriorate the plate. So that is it. Let's go.
Okay. When the press room humidity is high, the action of the acid will the action of the acid with ink will cause drying problems on the press sheet.
Okay, so we are saying that when the press room humidity is very high, all right, there will be problem with dryness. Okay, so on the press sheet it will dry, ink will dry quickly. So that is it. Let's go.
350. High acid fountain solution will also break down the ink. The acid will attack the ink and make it paste-like or emulsified. The emulsified ink will make the roller appear glazed. The problem can be corrected by cleaning the rollers and re-inking the ink duct.
Okay, so that is it. That's another problem. Let's go to the next problem.
So too low acid level, that's pH level from 7 to 4, the action of the moisture layer on the non-image area will decrease water receptivity, and the plate will scram with ink.
Will succumb, all right, scum, all right, so with the ink. Okay, all right, so that's it. All right, so let's look at the ink. When it comes to the ink, so when it comes to the ink, the problems associated with press ink are tinting, picking, and slow drying. So what happens to tinting? Different persons should read. What happens when we say tinting? Let's go. Okay.
Tinting. So, please, should I start from that part?
Yeah, start.
Thank you. Tinting. This is the slight discoloration over the entire image area of a printed sheet. This is caused by a reaction between the ink and the water fountain solution. If the ink is too water soluble, it will bleed black into the water fountain through the damping system. If tinting occurs, both the ink and the water system should be cleaned and a different ink formation is used.
Okay, so you realize that when you print some of the work, especially when you are using chroma coat, you see that the image has some color discolorization. Okay, so maybe the image is green and you are seeing black in it. Okay, it's as a result of tinting. as a result of tinting. He said that when it is too water-based, water-soluble, the black will bleed into it, or other ink would bleed into the actual image that you are seeing. So when that happens, there's a need for you to be cleaning, all right, the formulation, all right. You clean it often. You clean the head and other stuff for it to get exactly the same. Okay, so let's go to picking.
Picking. This is a number of small patches occurring over. Sorry. This is a number of small patches occurring over the entire image area of the press sheet. It is caused by linty or poorly coated paper or ink that is too tacky. Also, small particles of torn paper from the surface of the press sheet and feedback into the inking system. This can be resolved by cleaning the inking system or mixing the ink with a reducer or non-pick compound.
Okay, so the picking too, you see some small patches over there, small patches in the picture. Especially, it normally happens when you have illustrations in your work. You see some small patches occurring all over, all right, the entire illustration. Okay, so he said it is caused by lengthy or poorly coated paper, all right, or ink that is too tacky. And so when the ink is too sticky, all right, too thick, it would also cause that issue. Just like how we identified in printing defects. And so that is it. Similar thing would also happen over here. And so that if you can resolve this by cleaning the inking system or mixing the ink with a reducer, okay, so that it will dilute it a bit for you. Okay, so let's go to slow drying quickly.
Slow drying. This occurs when the printed material delay in drying. Simply common drying, Simple common drying problems can be eliminated with the addition of dryer compound to the ink. However, too much dryer can also increase the dry time of the ink. Over-inking on a coated paper or a non-absorbent paper can significantly increase drying time.
Okay, so sometimes you can print within 24 hours. You realize that where you place your finger on it, you see that it is still sticking, all right, on your finger, which means that it is not dry yet for you to even begin your folding or collating, all right. And so that is a problem, and we said that that problem can also be resolved. Okay, so he said over inking on the coated paper will not be able to absorb into the paper. Hence, it will increase the distance. So there shouldn't be any form of over inking. All right, so that the ink will be. Some of the inks are too thick on the surface of the print, which will take much time for it to dry. Now let's go to paper consideration.
Paper consideration. The nature of paper used to print instead of lithography can also affect the quality of the printed material. Three basic considerations must be made when selecting paper for a press work. 1. Paper acid content. Acid content of a paper affects the drying of printed sheets. Generally, uncoated printed paper will not dry properly in humid atmosphere if the pH is below 5. Also, most coated paper with pH of between 6 and 7 will cause ink drying problems under high humidity. However, coated paper with 7.5 pH can dry under most humidity levels. Acid content of every fresh paper can be obtained from the paper manufacturer.
All right. So one problem is if you take the paper to, we are looking at the acidic content of the paper and the paper grains direction. And so the paper, the type of paper that you select can also tell whether you are going to encounter a problem or not. And so if you are looking at the acidic content of the paper that you are going to use, the best is to obtain the acidic content of the paper from the paper manufacturer, so that you know it is even stated, okay, so that you know whether you are using the appropriate paper for the job that you are doing, so that you will know that it will dry fast or it will not dry fast. That is it. Now look at the grains. Let's look at the grains of a paper. What is the grain of a paper?
Paper grain direction. There are two main directions of paper fibers or grains on fresh sheet: grain long and grain short. Fresh sheets are described as grain long when most of the paper fibers are parallel to the longest dimension of the sheet. Fresh sheets are also described as grain short when the surface move up small. Surface move up a bit. Yes, thank you. So fresh sheets are also described as grain short when the paper fiber are right angled to the longest dimension of the sheet.
Okay, so we have two types of grains. Okay, now the direction of the paper, you know, this is paper is made up of fibers. That's like how we have warped thread and weft thread. All right, it goes to certain direction, and so we have the long or the longitudinal direction and the vertical direction. So we have the vertical direction and it goes this way. Many a time when you print, when you are printing for it to go the same direction of the grains, it may even bleed. So you have to print it across so that it will not have problem. So that is it. That is what we are talking about over here. All right. So then we come to the paper surface texture. What is the surface texture of the paper? Now, the surface texture of the paper, we realize that we have the rough and the smooth, coated and uncoated. So some are smooth, some are rough, some are coated, which is shiny, sparkling, all right, glossy, and others are also matte. So you need to also consider which one you are using. If it is a glazed one, which is sparkling, they need to know the consistency of your ink so that it will be able, so that it will not bleed. If it is coated, if it is glazed, if it is very smooth, and the consistency of your ink is very light, what will happen? There will be bleeding. All right. So that happens. Then if it is too thick too, you are printing on a mat, what will happen? There will be patches. Okay. So you need to look at all this when selecting those, when selecting your paper. Then we come to mechanical problem. Mechanical problem. What something or problem in relation to the machine that you are using, to the printer that you are using. Mechanical problem. What and what could be the mechanical problem over here? Let's go, please.
Mechanical problems.
Another person could do that for us. And who is
Isaac Westco.
Abigail Sewa, please, your mic. Off it for us. Abigail Sewa, it seems she's at the market. Abigail Sewa, kindly mute yourself for us. All right. Abigail Sewa, kindly mute yourself for us, please. Okay, let's go.
Please, I can't see the screen.
Okay, so mechanical issues. Can you see my screen now?
Nope, I can't see it.
You can see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, you can see it, sir.
Hey.
Okay, we can see. Let me read.
Okay, so read it for us.
Okay, J. Emmanuel, West School. Mechanical problems. These problems are often caused by incorrect press adjustment, poor maintenance culture, etc. Some of the common printing faults that occur as a result of mechanical problem include the following. Scamming. This is a situation in which non-image area of a printed material accepts ink. It is caused by over ink press, insufficient moisture on the plate, dirty dampener cover tied too tight, light dampener from roller press to the plate, low acid level of the fountain solution.
Okay, so you are printing, realize that your negative area is not having some ink or is not having some print that you don't know where it's coming from. We are saying that when that happens, it is caused by over ink press and insufficient moisture on the plate and many others. So take note of that. 2, let's go.
So can you shift it up a bit for me? Okay. Blurred copy into brackets, double image. This is caused by loose blanket. If the covering of the blanket cylinder is loose, during press run, the blanket is placed against the flat cylinder and tend to flatten or stretch out. Excessive impression. Too much impression will tend to roll the blanket ahead of the impression cylinder and cause a set off from the press sheet back to the blanket, resulting in blur image. Lastly,
All right.
over inking.
Okay, so this is normally found. I don't know whether you have identified this. Those who have been reading daily graphic a lot, you will see that most of their images are blurred, very blurred, mirroring. So that is, we said that the causes are loose blanket sheets, excessive impression, and over inking. So that is it. Now the next one.
Gray washout reproduction. This is caused by too much moisture, insufficient ink, incorrect plate to blanket pressure, incorrect. So can you shape it up a bit? Okay, thanks. Incorrect plate to blanket pressure, incorrect impression to blanket pressure. We also
Okay,
have
so we have washout reproduction. Okay, it is it appear, the color appear grayish. It's not so clear. All right, that it cannot print any longer. It prints faintly. So once it prints faintly, it means that it is either too much of moisture or insufficient ink. So you have to check whether there's the need for you to refill, or incorrect plate to blanket pressure when there is misalignment of plate to the blanket. Pressure to can happen. So that is it. Now let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. It seems it's off.
Okay, so I'm reading.
We also have gray washout reproduction, and this is like gray.
Can hear you.
Okay, someone to assist him, please.
Okay, sir, I'm continuing.
Yeah, we can hear you. Someone should pick it up.
Okay,
Gray, washout reproduction and scamming. This is caused by 1. Glazed ink rulers. 2. Glazed blanket rulers. The third one, too much ink from ruler pressure. The fourth one, too much dampener from ruler pressure. And the fifth one, too low impression. And the last one, too much moisture and glazed blanket and ink rulers.
So when you are seeing the two defects at the same time, then you know that it is caused by glazed ink rulers, glazed blanket rulers, and many others that are stated over here. Let's go to printer's high key.
Printer's high key. Small particles of ink or paper attached to the plate or blanket. This can be solved by stopping the press and cleaning the plate and the blanket cylinders.
All right. Okay. So it's self-explanatory over here. Too dark reproduction. Let's go. Let's go. Another person.
Okay, sir. Let me continue.
Too dark reproduction.
Too dark reproduction. This is when the image prints too dark. This is caused by I, when half tones and half tone reserves fill in. II, when the printed sheet dries slowly, which may be caused by too much ink, too much impression to blanket pressure, or not enough plates to blanket pressure.
All right. So weak spots.
Weak spots. This may be caused by incorrect plate to blanket pressure, incorrect impression to blanket pressure, low spots in the blankets, blind image on plate caused by dry gum arabic or overly strong fountain solution, or a glazed blanket.
All right, that's great. Then the final one, please.
Images break down while plate is running. That is caused by too much dampener from roller pressure against the plate, too much ink from roller pressure against the plate, too much plate to blanket pressure, overly strong fountain solution, and play in all rollers. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So these are the problems that you can identify and the causes of those problems. So maybe in the examination, they can ask you to state about 2 or 3 problems associated with lithographic printing and their causes. All right, then that is it. So that is about the troubleshooting. All right. Place someone's hand quickly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
I
Yeah.
noticed something that I want to ask. We have a photo printer and normal printers, right? So let's
Okay. Yeah,
assume
sure.
you are using a photo printer to print normal text, and the darkness or the saturated black is too deep. Can that one be classified as a problem?
Yeah, it is a problem. Photo printers are meant for, photographs. And many a time when we are dealing with photo printers, we use glossy papers. Okay, photo papers. That's what we use in printing it out. But what I've had a situation at my office whereby we have photo printers over here. You see people slotting, matte papers. You slot bond papers into photo printer. What will happen is that you are going to have issue with the head. All right. So there will be blur images. Images will not be clear. There will be lines or a break in the images, and so because that is not the appropriate paper, because those paper easily pick date. And so if you are having photo printer, then the best paper for you to use is photo, card or photo paper. So that is it. All right. Now let's go to Emmanuel, please.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Please, I wanted to get understanding of the phrase blanket pressure. If you can help me get it.
Oh,
better.
when we were talking about the blanket cylinder, all right, we said that we have the plate cylinder and that of the blanket cylinder. Is that also? We said that you develop the plate. After developing the plate, there is a rubber-like this thing that cuts it, all right, into that form, that revolve. That's why we call it offset lithography. It doesn't print directly from the plate, but from the blanket. So when there's a mismatch, that is where we'll have problem. When there's a mismatch, that is where we'll have problem. So that is it. It is in the previous lesson where we said that operating the printer, where we learn how to operate the printer, we look at the various parts of the printer. We looked at the plate cylinder and that of the blanket one. And so when there's mismatch, when there is no connection, when it doesn't synchronize, it can also result in problem. Pardon?
Yeah, the line was breaking. I don't know if that is coming from my end here.
Oh, so you didn't hear me?
Yes, your voice was actually breaking, so I don't know whether it's from my end.
So what I'm saying is that when we were looking at the operating system of the lithographic printer, we look at the various parts. We look at the plate cylinder and the blanket cylinder. So when there's mismatch between the plate cylinder and the blanket cylinder, you will not get good outcome. So that is what so it's one of the plates. All right, that is where the image is. That's the image carrier that we are talking about for printing.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Okay, sir, please. Yes. Mention the part that causes the errors for troubleshoots. I didn't hear anything about the nozzles. The nozzles, or they don't cause problems.
If the problems are many, that we are just looking at the basic and the frequent ones. We can go and go and go and go and even talk about, when there is power fluctuation. What happened? That this thing ceases to print. All right, halfway image appears. Okay, so these are the basic ones that you can just put across. There are a lot. If you go into the internet, you see that we have a lot of the problems that are associated to printing. All right, it doesn't mean that we should rest over here. We can make more of reading to get to know more on problems. All right, Mavis, please.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Please,
welcome.
looking at the proof printing. We said that would be the final one to check.
The proof. We don't call it proof printing. We call it proof.
Sorry, proof. Yes. So I just want to know the difference now with the troubleshooting. It means that when we do the proof, we can come out with all these problems we have talked about in troubleshooting.
Exactly.
Right.
You can do that. I am saying that it is not prudent for you to do your finished printing or your this before you do troubleshooting. No, once you do your proof, then you examine whether everything is correct before you go ahead and multiply your prints. So that is it.
All right, sir. Then please another follow-up. Then what really causes paper to jam in the printer?
Yeah,
is that another thing?
Paper. Yeah, that is paper jamming. Paper could jam when the paper is even wet. Okay. When the paper is not dry, it could jam. When the papers are stuck to each other, it could jam. Okay. I hope you are getting the point now. So as I said, we have a lot of the problems associated, but these are the few ones that it doesn't mean that you can't add on. You can add on. Okay. All right. Okay, so we will end here today, 2 o'clock. We have done much of the lesson. Next week or tomorrow, we will be looking at. Is it the way you people are happy because we are ending 2 o'clock? We are ending 2 o'clock because we have only one unit to exhaust. That is unit 4, which is the careers in printing. So we'll be looking at still careers in copy editing, all right, typesetting, all right. We'll be looking at careers, layout, what is it about, book binding, publishing. So look at all these things. What are they? We have already, don't forget, we have already spoken about some of them already. So typesetting, you know what typesetting is. Proofreading, you know what proofreading is. So tomorrow's own, we are going to use roughly 30 minutes because you have heard of typesetting already. You have heard of copy editor. Today I mentioned who a copy editor is. You have heard of. So those that you have not heard of, that is where we will concentrate on typesetter. You've heard of typesetting already. It's about to also start raining over here. So that is what we'll be doing, God willing, tomorrow. So thank you so much for coming today. Don't forget to read more tomorrow so that we can, within 1 hour, we should be able to finish everything so that at least you can prepare adequately and have realization. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Have a very wonderful Saturday. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are always
you.
grateful.
Okay.
We are grateful, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so bro.
Kuluje.
So bro.
Kuluje.
Yeah.
You only come after cruising.
The
We only hear your voice after closing.
Yes, I could say.
Baby.
He's coming to lock the classrooms. Allow him.
Yeah, bro.
Lock the windows and the doors.
Hello, yeah, bro.
He's having this classroom like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
I'm saying that you only come after closing. When the class is commencing, you hear your voice. Immediately you close, you'll be the first one to comment.
He's active after class.
I always have network problem at my end, so
But you'll be the first person
my
to
network
comment.
is always stable at the end of the lecture.
Yo.
My network is always stable at the end of the lecture.
Hello, Mr. Kuti.
Yeah, Mr. Christian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have been missed there.
Oh, I've been in town. I'm in town, so I was just enjoying the lectures.
Oh, I really appreciate how you started with the lecture from the beginning before the lecture came.
I just wanted him to show my president. I'll move away and go. So I came to town and.
Exactly. You are actually doing well. You are actually doing well. You are doing better than Clifford Taku. You are doing better than Clifford Taku.
It doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me.
Taku is an operating system manager.
Yeah, but it's why I say change you know, you change your mat no yeah, I say change your mat and buy a funny sign. Design, yeah, anything.
Oh, mo mas no man.
Oh, boom, why you there?
Yes.
What's up?
Yeah, but say change your mat no.
You can't change you. I'm not sure you can change you. Because you should have done it before. You should have done it before the first exams.
He wants to change his course. He wants to change his course.
Yeah,
from
design.
Oh, then he should consider dashing UCC the fees he paid.
Hey,
that one there, yeah.
Yeah, what more going to the age you?
So,
so algorithm programming, how far?
The algorithm
and programming, how far?
I will tomorrow go meet algorithm.
It's not a meeting. It's not a meeting.
Maybe what?
You know what I'm talking about. It's not a meeting. You know, when it comes to algorithm programming, you will see we are many, but only 2 or 3 that we're talking. It means there are a lot of points. Because that thing there is going down power.
You have to read the notes.
You know, you and I know.
Christian, don't mind
Clifford, your tenure of office has passed. So you are an operating system manager.
But on a more serious note, you guys are really doing well. Especially
the way I worry Christian this block. Christian, get ready for me.
I hear.
He himself.
Christian, why are you using two devices to connect?
The issue is I left my PC on. So whilst I'm in town, I connected my phone.
Oh, okay. Hey,
I was enjoying the house.
You there for boo.
Oh, but Chris, you did well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
When I joined, I was like, which UCC professor is that?
From where? Charlie, the way that I tired, I go road, I go jogging. So I come in my.
This one there, UCC for tried and take you out.
For where? Charlie.
That will be after
So
the
Charlie man was tired.
So please, how many do you have here so far? Industrial printing. I don't hear anything.
All right.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Justice, you disconnect the PC in the house for me. Okay. Thank you.